Well, 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 what do we have here? Larva spawning in the top left-hand corner versus Speed. We got a big series to get into today, guys. Big. I'm talking large between Speed and Larva. And I am super excited for it. I know that this video is probably gonna pop off because, like me, a lot of you guys out there are hoping to see more Larva games, hoping that he's gonna come back to the scene. He's had wrist problems for a long time, and it seems like he may be starting to practice once again. On the ladder, we managed to catch some games. We're going to be casting them here for you today. Speed is his opponent. Of course it's Speed. Who else would it be? Speed is the one guy who is always online. He's always putting up tons of games. He's on a barcode, as is Larva, so they don't know who they're up against. We might have some chatter later on in the series, but I'll do my best to get that translated for you. I'm not expecting the world out of Larva in these games. It's certainly not got the rust knocked off just yet, but oh boy, am I excited to see what this guy can do. I think we're gonna have, maybe not this season, but next season, one of the most incredible lineups with Flash, most likely. We've even got Sue, who's a Starcraft 2 player who's made it, or who's started practicing Starcraft 1 again. We could have Rain. We could have, I mean, the possibilities, guys, the possibilities. Larva and Flash alone is just insane. And so I'm getting very, very excited. And I hope you guys are too. Make sure, if this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, or you've been seeing me a lot in your feed and maybe you've watched a few before but haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, guys. We're getting into this game now. The layer is about to finish up. Looks like he's gonna wait a little bit here. 403 Spire. Like delaying that slightly by getting his third hatchery out. Right around 403 is the timing when you can get an extra larva by just oh, sorry, excuse me. No. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's 303, and that's when you make the layer. Is the latest spire just slightly sorry guys, I am a little bit thrown off by this unorthodox intro that I put together. And I also just came off of casting the SCSL with Nyokin, so that's going to be out soon. I think the round of 16 match that I casted with Nyokin came out not too long ago. We just casted a round of 8 match. And so that'll be coming out soon as well. And we're going to have this Spire finishing up soon. What is the follow-up from Speed? He's being pretty... going for a pretty normal build. Just 3 racks. He's going to have a lot of Marines out, but not some insane amount. He's going to have a pretty quick transition. Probably a 7-minute factory. He's done this a lot lately, actually, where he gets the 2 racks, makes a 2 racks pressure type a number of Marines. He gets the very early stim as well, and then goes right into range, but he doesn't move out. He just sits there. Just gonna sit there. No move out. As soon as the Mutalists arrive, though, he's gonna have range done. Range done, +1 on the way, all the turrets up. He's not gonna be taking damage. And I think that's the purpose of this build. He's not going to be taking damage. He's going to be getting this transition going quite quickly. Mutas are coming across the map. He immediately throws down a Hydra Den. and a base down in bottom left. He didn't take the natural, though. He took the main. It's important to note. The mutas are going to fly straight through. Picking off a couple of Marines here. Going after this turret over the barracks as well. Good repair there, but it will go down. Hasn't lost a single muta just yet. The Marines are headed out on the warpath. Do we have any sunken colonies back at home? No. The mutas will be forced to retreat. They know two ways about it. He's got to stop this Marine medic group from coming across, but he's already done a reasonable amount. Only losing one muta, killing off a SCV or two, a few Marines here and there. Great turn there. Oh my goodness. Perfect control by Speed. Just walking across the map, nonchalantly walking, and then immediately hitting the stim button, turning and targeting down as many mutalisks as he can. You just see how quick Speed is, dude. 430 APM. The moment the mutas show themselves, once again, he's just going to hit that stim button and try to target one of them down. There's a good number of mutas and lings out now, and with the two sunken colonies at the natural, he might be able to hold on. He's sending some mutas down towards the third base as well. So he's going to look to get lurkers started down there at the third, while simultaneously building up a few more units. Oh god, just drones popping out. He's going to build a creep colony out in the front. Try and block this up a little bit. Mutas are on their way back home. He killed a few Marines in the natural, but the lings have been cleaned now. Lurkers are being morphed kind of in the middle of the map. That round of drones was a little bit scary, but it looks like Larva's gotten away with it. The transition is well underway for Speed. I don't think this game is going to end anytime soon, but it's looking a little bit scary. I kind of like this move, actually. I really like this move. Truly, this is a smart move. What Larva's doing here, he put the lurker there to, if there's a scan down here, he's going to see a lurker pothole. But he might not see these lurkers over here. He might assume that that's like a stack of lurkers that's parked over on that low ground. And maybe he brings all the Marines bottom left, walks over this lurker landmine, and just gets eaten alive. That could be the case. I have to keep an eye on that, because he's not ready to start making science vessels just yet. And so he might be tempted to head bottom left. Having the lurkers out this soon, though, would be a little bit foolish for Speed to try and push somewhere. He should know that there's a possibility of lurker landmines basically anywhere that's outside of vision right now. We could be putting lurker landmines there. There could be a couple of lurkers moving into position there as well. Speed just doesn't know for the time being. More lurkers coming out as well. Nidus Canal being connected. Defiler Mound is going down. We just got a scan of that. Third gas is online. Lurker landmines still out at the front, but doesn't seem like Speed has any intention of moving out until these science vessels are good and ready. That's a prudent decision, I would say, by our Zerg player. Lurkers are moving around the top side. But they're going to burrow up here. Maybe he puts those on hold position as well. Yes, he will. And allow this SCV to come up here. Oh my goodness, he's going to get huge kills. About 5 Marines go down for free. Nice little trade there for Larva. He could have probably waited a little bit longer for some more Marines to come up, but I think it's a good decision to just get the value that he can out of it. And he even cancels the CC here. So getting that cancel as well. Very good stuff. Lurkers are going to retreat while the mutas are heading into the main. Oh god, on the way out, getting caught by a bunch of these Marines. Pull out 2 mutas that have been irradiated, but that's awesome. Actually, I think Larva's going to be very happy with those 2 irradiates that just went down on the mutas. Mutas are not that important anymore. and are probably just going to be used to, you know, try to snipe down. Oh, can you actually get that? Oh, gosh. Quite low. 20 HP left on that. Maybe you can mix in some Scourge with those Immunas. Look for opportunities to snipe. These lurkers need to be burrowed. Uh-oh. Come on, burrow. All right, he's going to make a stack out of them. Has some lings here as well. Very important. He's got those lings ready. Getting a Defiler over towards this natural. That could be a dangerous situation if he doesn't move fast enough speed. I think he's figured out what's coming. Defiler is encroaching towards him very quickly. There are 2 irradiates ready. Oh, I think he just barely caught the tail end of that. Very important that he saw that. Dark Swarm's going to come down, but it's not right in the natural. It's very close. One more Dark Swarm, a little closer. Not able to get it. Not able to get that Dark Swarm, and now these lurkers are kind of marooned on this side of the map. 3 lurkers under the Dark Swarm. I'm not going to be able to do too much. Maybe if he brings some lings out here to clear this. Bring some lings out to clear in the front. And send a Defiler from this angle up to the front. It's possible, but it's a little bit late now. Needed to start moving on that a little bit sooner. He's going to move forward now and get his lurkers out into the natural so that he can take this 4th gas. We're at 12 minutes now, and the CC is about to land. Just needs to deal with this one. Oh, it looks like those lurkers got taken down. A couple more lurkers gonna come up. Can they actually get some kills on these SCVs? 1 or 2 SCVs goes down. Another Defiler making its way in here. This is some great Defiler play, Fire Zerg. Gonna get a bunch of kills on these Marines. Meanwhile, moving his way over to the front now. Are there any lurkers under here? I don't see any. He's going for the kill on this Defiler. He gets the Irradiate down. The Defiler is out of position to try and save this. He actually needs a Plague. Oh, the beautiful Plague, though, and Dark Swarm here at the end of this. Just going to clear that out so easily. 7 kills on this lurker. There's a second lurker under here. There it is. 10 kills on that lurker. Getting so many kills. And Larva is dominating. I am shocked. Truly shocked at how well he's able to perform after not being active for so long. Too bad he didn't throw down one more Dark Swarm here on these lurkers, but he's already done such a fantastic job at holding on and dealing damage at the same time. I can't fault him. Another Defiler is in position to potentially come in here and ruin his opponent's day. Has just 200 energy on this because he doesn't have the upgrade just yet. But that's still enough to make Speed's life annoying. Give him a headache here. He's going to push up now. Nothing but a single Marine to defend against that. And so immediately he'll get to work to start killing some SCVs. There's only 49 SCVs left. Only 1 lurker at this natural, though. A lot of lings have left. Will he get punished for this? A lot of Marines coming down. Birds are going to come forward. He's going to get 1, 2 vessels. Making some... oh my gosh, there's so much chaos going on right now. We'll have to pay attention to this because it's probably the most important part of this game. Can he actually hold on back at home while denying all of these bases? He's done such a fantastic job at just making things chaotic and giving Speed such a hard time. Even with his near 500 APM, Speed is not able to keep up with everything that's happening. He is just being ping-ponged around the map, drugged back and forth by Larva, who's hitting him absolutely everywhere. Run forward now. Goes off that one sunken colony. Another one. Oh, actually, that's a Spore that's about to finish. Spore finishes up. More lurkers gonna pop through. Lurkers and lings should be enough. Doesn't have a Dark Storm or anything, but looks like these lings actually won't do, but these lurkers burrowing now are going to be able to finish things off. Pushing forward once again, Dark Swarm, but both of these have been irradiated, so this base is likely going to go up now. Actually needs a couple of Scourge to deal with that one vessel. That's super annoying. Vessel just sitting over top of everything and dealing damage. More Lings coming in now. I just heard a Vessel go down as well. These two lurkers just holding off this base from mining for so long. And he's got his 4th gas online. He's getting double upgrades right now. I don't know if he has the... Yeah, he does have the Ultra Cavern. He's waiting for those upgrades to really start to kick in. +2 is still a ways away, and +3 is almost done for these Marines. So he is falling... He has fallen a little bit behind in overall upgrades. That's for sure. Larva not quite up to snuff. Whereas Speed has been hitting his upgrades on time. He's going to have a decent advantage as the Ultralist transition happens. But I'm still feeling pretty confident about Larva's position. He's just done so much to slow Speed down. Speed's army is very small. He's lost a lot of vessels overall as well. Is he going to get a big plague on this army? Oh, those vessels? Not quite. Not quite able to get the vessels. Another Nidus Canal here at the front. Lings are available to maybe come in and try dealing some damage at this fresh base. Should be able to get a great plague there. He gets an amazing... Every single vessel gets plagued. And so that's going to be absolutely worth it for the 1 Defiler. The cost of the 1 Defiler. More lurkers are being irradiated down, and it's looking a little bit scant now, the defenses over at this base. That's for sure. Only Lings and not even a Defiler ready. 1 lurker is available. But not much more. 7 Ultras on the way, though. Well, that's a lot of fire bats. Is he going to be able to get a plague onto this army? Oh my goodness. Lings are getting absolutely annihilated. 7 kill fire bat. 12 kill fire bat. He breaks through the natural. He kills the Nidus Canal. Firebats are going to go to work on these drones now, getting so many kills. It's just a massacre at this point. Hatchery going down as well. Meanwhile, the natural in top left may be broken. Where are all these Ultras we were promised? Ultras making their way to the front. He's going to target down some of those medics. And the army will eventually be cleaned, it seems. But without those extra upgrades, they're not going to trade that well. And he will have to retake this 4th gas, which is quite the pain. So the Ultralist trickle is going to be quite slow for a bit. Plus, we're going to have Irradiates come out and deal with a lot of this stuff. Those 2 mutas have been sharking around for a long time, looking for these kills on the vessels, but I haven't been able to find many. Ultra Ling making its way down here. 1 bunker's full. 1 SCV's ready to try and save that. It's like the bunker's going to go down immediately, though. Not really any hope of keeping that alive. However, he should be able to save the base. Another base going up down here, or up in the top right. This Ultra up here, kind of in a funny position. Could absolutely deny that. Going in for some kills on these vessels, but only gets 1 before being driven back. The Muta is forced to retreat. Speed is on the edge of defeat, but he did enough damage to maybe he can make this work. There's a possibility there. If too many Ultras bleed in like this and just die for free, and the vessel count isn't wiped out all in an instant, maybe there's a chance. I'm gonna go ahead and consume some more Lings. He's looking for a big plague, but the army just gets wiped out. A bit of fire bats here in the army, but that's not going to do too well against the masses of Ultras. This Ultra up here, I mean, it could completely deny the base in top right, but maybe he gets a bunker or 2 up and a bunch of Marines spat out to where he can actually hold that position. There's that Muta coming back in and getting some more kills. Still some vessels here with almost no HP managing to survive. There's got to be quite frustrating. Does kill this bunker. Gonna go to work on this base now. But with the Defiler being gone and the Ultra very low on HP, that will be cleaned up quickly. Here's another attack coming in. Larva just making it so chaotic by attacking everywhere at once, getting another Dark Swarm in on another one of these bases and continuing to push Speed back. Speed has been on the back foot for so long. We're gonna have another base coming up here for Larva, but he needs to get this gas rolling. He's so low on gas. He needs desperately to mine that as soon as possible. And it's great if you can keep the game chaotic enough to put your opponent on the back foot. But if you're not able to pay attention to these important things like mining your own gas, you're going to end up shooting yourself in the foot. Going wild like this. Gets another plague off. Still not mining that gas. Getting some Scourge out now to deal with that. He still isn't mining that gas. Firebat's pushing up to the front. A counterattack once again making its way over towards the natural. Gonna pick off another vessel. And this... Oh, and another vessel. Oh my gosh, so many vessels going down. Battle cruisers making their way out on the field. Now this might be the killing blow. The battle cruisers are going to be so critical in killing off this base. He just doesn't have the money to make Scourge anymore. And the Firebats with the D-Matrix on them are going to be so strong at dealing with the mostly Ling forces coming out. More and more kills on these drones. He was finally mining that gas, but immediately lost the position. This base in top right still not mining just yet. He's trying to make some Scourge. He's making 7 Hydras. He just needs something to deal with these battle cruisers. There's the Scourge coming out. Burrow is active. That's so important that he had the burrow. So incredibly important he was able to burrow there. Oh my goodness. That drone almost doing so much damage. So many Firebats. What is this? So many Firebats on the defensive. Speed is making it work. He's hanging on everywhere, and he's dealing damage to these battle cruisers. These Scourge, you need to get in there. Defiler pushing up towards the middle. Doesn't have energy for the Plague, unfortunately. Was looking to hit center right, I guess. But gets caught in the transition. More Scourge are going to come out. We'll deal with that. A little bit of overkill there with the Scourge, unfortunately. Could have used to save those to maybe pick off some more vessels. Although there's not many left. Just 6 vessels total. More vessels being made back at home rather than battle cruisers now. Finally, these ultras make their way into top right, and they're gonna shut down that base. But Larva's been mining off of this center left for quite some time, and now he's gonna be mining this gas as well. Larva's stabilized. And he's gonna make 2 lurkers, 3 lurkers, in fact, on this high ground to just buy some time. As long as he buys a little bit of time for his ultras to pop out, I think he's going to be okay. 5 armors done, plus 2 attack. He gets some lings into bottom right once again. Just forcing out more chaos. Another ultra is here, but this is a lot of marine medic. Is Larva going to be able to save this base? A lot of stuff hopping through the Nidus Canal now, but not that much stuff. And it looks like Speed is going to be pushing through, backing up over to this high ground. He's just going to stand strong and try to hold for as long as he can. Lurker pops through, but it's just going to run out and die. Larva, is he falling apart here? One more Defiler, but it doesn't have energy for Plague. He needs one more consume. There it is. The Plague comes down, but is the Plague going to be enough? Some Scourge pop out. Some Ultras come from the flank. Scourge are going to loop around and start to kill a bunch of these vessels, but the Ultra section can't get in here. Ling finishes off that last Marine. Another group of Marines moving over to center left. There's nothing here. Burrow is going to save the drones, but Ultras need to be brought forward to deal with these Marines. Where are the Ultras going? Oh my god, the Ultras changed direction. And now all the drones in this base are going to die. These Lings, plus those 2 Ultras, should have been able to hold on. But he loses everything at this base. He's lost this base as well. He's going on a desperate counterattack. Larva, is he actually going to lose this game? This is wild to me that he just decided at the last minute there not to try to save that base in the center left. That base was everything in this game, but the Ultras on the counterattack are going to break the bunker. Marines here are not going to be able to utilize that. Actually does jump into the bunker. So he does utilize that bunker here and actually kills the Ultra. There's only 2 Hydras left. There's 2 Hydras left, guys. The Marines that killed center left are going to be sent down to bottom center. Science vessels here. Getting so many kills, they're shutting down that last mining base. Larva doesn't have any income. His income's coming in so slowly. 14 SCVs are left. Or 14 workers are left, 30 SCVs, more ultras making their way to the front. Is he actually gonna break this? He's killing the very last SCVs, forcing them to evacuate. There's so few workers left, but this army has made its way down to bottom left. That's gonna be destroying all of the hatcheries. Nothing is mining. GG is called. Larva taps out. What a wild game to start this series, guys. Absolutely insane. This is one of those great games. This might be one for the best of 2025. But that all depends on how the rest of this series goes, guys. We've still got plenty of games to go. Oh, I am out of breath after trying to catch all the action here in game number 1. Speed versus Larva. What a banger so far. Absolutely incredible game number 1. Hats off to Speed for winning that one. Dude, I was not expecting game 1 to go that hard. Speed versus Larva has just begun. I'm popping open the soju, boys, for this one. Taking a sip. Make sure to get yourselves a drink as well. Strap in, because this has just begun. Larva gonna go ahead and open with a 12 hatchery. Once again, the wall here for Speed. We are on Dominator this time. And I'm wondering now, how will Larva adjust to that last game? And here on Dominator, Mutalisk attack is pretty darn strong. Going in for the Mutalisk harassment is strong, but not as strong on this particular spawn. If the Terran player spawns down here, you've got this big open area to harass between the two bases. Plus you've got the high ground. This one you only have the high ground, and Larva being down here in the bottom left, he can harass the main or the natural, but it's not quite as good as some of these other spawns. So it's possible we'll see a Valkyrie build out of Speed, but it's not essential. Go ahead and drive this SCV away. Took quite a bit of damage on that, actually. He really wanted to put some hurt on this drone, but ends up losing quite a bit of HP there. I'm gonna send out that second SCV and try to put the pressure on, but 4 lings are gonna pop out. I don't see how this does any damage. Only 2 Marines, and there's 4 lings coming. Plus one of the SCVs was hurt initially. Third SCV making its way forward. There's no scout, of course. Larva taking the long way around to try and find his opponent's natural. Makes another set. That's 6 lings. That's very important that he started that third set. There's just 3 Marines at the front. No more Marines are being made to start his academy. Hoping to snipe something on that high ground, but in fact, Larva backs off from the SCV. He's going to wait for his metabolic boost to come online. That was a play from Speed that I think we've seen many times before. Marines sitting up on the high ground, waiting for the lings chasing the SCV to come into range. If you pick off a couple of those lings, then the pressure really starts to mount and you can force more lings to be made, or maybe even come into the natural and deal some damage if they don't build those lings. So a little bit of back and forth already in this early game. Nothing too dramatic though. Second barracks on the way. And even gonna opt for the same build. Third barracks coming up now for Speed. Is really leaning into this style. And it worked out all right for him last game. Let's see how it goes this time around. Larva has his Spire on the way. And he will get these Mutalisks coming out pretty soon. It's once again, I think, Speed just sitting and not planning on any sort of a move out, even though he got this fast stim upgrade. He's gonna get that range going and just sit back in this wall and play pretty unorthodox. Not really the way that we see Terran players open. Oh, wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, Ling's trying to run in here as the Overlord goes down, but not really able to get anything out of that. 6 Lings think about diving on these Marines, but they're gonna have to back away. It was a good snipe to kill the Overlord right before mutas start to get made, so he actually can't make all the mutas that he wanted to make. He has to start 2 Overlords rather than building a couple of extra mutas. He's still supply blocked here. That's quite annoying. It means he's really not going to be able to hit this timing very well. Very good move to kill that Overlord at that very precise moment. Just 5 mutas flying into the main, and there's already 3 turrets covering this mineral line. Going after the first turret, but realizes that with the SCV repairing, that's actually not going to go too well. SCV's already pulled over to the right-hand mineral line. Marines popping out are going to be killed, but there's a big group of Marines heading straight across the map. You can't just stay here and fight. Needs to take this very seriously. Once again, 3 medics and about 12 Marines, exactly 12 Marines actually, heading straight across. Let's see if LARVA has what it takes to stop this. This is a lot of Marines, but the mutas are here just in time. The Lings are going to be helping out a lot. Mutas are dying. 3 or 4 have already gone down. And so he will clean this in the end, but at the cost of quite a bit of his mutas. He has 7 at the end of the day. He's going to start some drones as soon as this has been cleaned. And he's going to look to put some harassment onto Speed now. But I'm not sure how much he can actually get done. Factory gets started, 7-minute factory. Right on curve, 3rd gas is on the way. 2 Marines head out on the map. That's a very sneaky play. There's unlikely to be any Lings made at a time like this. They're not going to be making too many Lings, so they're not going to be available to respond to these 2 Marines making their way into the 3rd. And so we may see Speed get like 2 or 3 kills on the drones, and at the very bare minimum force the drones away from mining that gas. And here they come now. He'll have to react to this while microing his mutas as well. There we go. Loses 1 drone. 2nd drone gonna go down for sure. And he even cancels one of his eggs, so this has worked out really well for Speed. Very smart stuff. Him sending those Marines across. Not the greatest engagement here for LARVA. I like the idea of waiting for the Marines to come down the ramp, but those Marines were so clumped up and all shooting at the same time, he ends up losing extra mutas. So this is becoming a tough game for LARVA. He's already taken some damage. He's been slowed down a little bit. He's lost quite a bit of his Mutalisks. He's making this transition, but he doesn't have a Queen's Nest. Okay, there's a Queen's Nest on the way at the natural. He has hardly killed any SCVs of Speed. Speed is in full control of this game, I feel. He's kind of dictating the pace. And he's going to follow up with some Valkyries coming in shortly. The full 11 group of mutas with the +1 is quite scary. Takes care of that turret really, really fast, and has opened up a possible area of threat. Like, killing this supply depot is going to be very annoying. In fact, he's just going to kill it himself. Really great swipe there from LARVA coming in to take a shot at the Marines as they're dealing with that supply depot. A little bit of a pause there, but he's ready to get back into the action now. Armor upgrade on the way. Hive on the way. Drones and lurker aspect about to finish. And although Speed has a bit of a lead, I'd say, Larva is certainly not out of this. He's got a lot of room to try and make up this deficit. See what he can do. +1 armor. There's ship weapons. Gonna go towards a ship weapons style of gameplay, which means a lot of Valkyries will be made. Now, we've seen this before. We've seen the way that Speed plays when he goes for ship weapons, and then he usually makes about 6 Valkyries. Even if there's lurkers out already, he'll angle and aim to start sniping down a lot of overlords. So we haven't seen more Hydra's upgrades come out just yet, and that might be a bit problematic. Oh, can you get that one Valkyrie? No, he has to pull back. Would have been too costly to snipe that down, so he does have to retreat. You of course need to have enough lurkers, but you're also going to need a bunch of Hydras. Hydra's upgrades as well are going to be super important. Valkyries are continuing to be made, and that number is going to grow. If Larva starts to lose masses of overlords, Scourge are just not going to cut it. We don't have +1 armor on the Scourge, so it's not quite there. 6 Valkyries will just annihilate Scourge so quickly, you won't even have a second to blink, and they'll be gone. These mutas have to retreat. Nothing they can really do against this. He has some defilers on the way. Gonna have that upgrade done soon. Consume. Loses a few more mutas, and the Scourge of course get wiped out. The lurkers are important, but it's very necessary that he gets some Hydras going. He still hasn't been adding on Hydra's upgrades, and there's the big supply block. I don't think that Larva has fully understood what's happening here. He thinks that there's going to be a big drop, that the mutas are going, or the Valkyries are going to clear the mutas and Scourge, and then the drop's going to come into the main. But in fact, it's not like that at all. You can see behind this, double expansion from Speed. He's going to continue to try and supply block Larva as much as possible while transitioning into a mech play. I have a big switch into mech now. It's like 1 Valkyrie went down, still 5 though. Pretty scary, and there's a lot of overlords at this natural. So you're gonna build double spore colony to try and keep those alive. Getting plague is amazing as well. If you can get a plague on all of these Valkyries, the cleanup happens very quickly. And here comes the Scourge now, gonna try and take a fight with this. He's trying to drag the Marines into this lurker landmine. Can he actually make it happen? Oh boy, those Valkyries are gonna deal so much damage. The Scourge are out of position. Valkyries just hammering, absolutely hammering this. He sees the barracks floating, and he's realized that this is a full mech transition now. I'm gonna head up to the north, but the mutas really can't do anything. The Valkyries are gonna cut them off. This is so many Valkyries, dude. He's made like 8 Valkyries this game. Now gonna switch over into full-on mech play. Huge amounts of vultures and tanks coming out. We're gonna see mines everywhere. This lurker landmine did not pay off. Having a very hard time really saturating his bases. Look at how few units there are, how few drones there are over at this third base. He's really having a struggle to get these bases online. But he should be able to... Oh, okay, here we go. It's like 3 kills on this one lurker. Managed to get some straggler Marines. Deal a little bit of damage there. Lurkers in both locations. There's 6 lurkers pushing in towards this 4th base. No tanks in the area. And the Marines are going to get wiped out pretty handily. Alright. 2 lurkers end up going down. But it's still a threat here. Slowly creeping forward with the lurkers. More Marines going to come from behind. You should have Hydras and Defilers now ready. He's also getting that very important Overlord Speed. Gonna surround and kill off all the lurkers. So the lurkers go down. Lurkers have all been killed now. Coming in to try and deal some damage. Where is that Defiler? I just heard it consume. He has Plague finished, so if he gets a Plague on all of these... By the way, I should change the colors here. Now that Plague is done, we're gonna go to teal and yellow. I actually like that a lot more. Sorry guys for forgetting about that once again. We've got teal versus yellow now. With Speed still looking for more overlords. He's finding a few here or there, and he's keeping his opponent's supply blocked. Double expansion going up for Larva as well. Larva trying to get those expansions online as quickly as possible. He's fallen a little bit behind with the upgrades. His Hydralisk upgrades are just not quite there yet. Overlords are going to be able to run away from these Valkyries, and the Spore Colonies are going to make it very hard for him to engage. But even more Overlords do end up falling in the end. And Speed having a hard time continuing to keep this guy's supply block. He will keep him a supply block for a little bit longer. But then we're going to see big waves of drones come out. And the Valkyries really do need to head back home. Start to cover the tanks and prevent any sort of sudden Mutalisk switch in the mid and late game. There's the big round of drones coming out. 41 so far. He's going to go up to about 50, maybe 55 soon. Is getting into Ultralisk Cavern, though. I'm not sure I agree with that. Ultra Cavern seems like an interesting choice. Of course, building queens against this many Valkyries is quite scary. If your opponent catches your... Oh gosh, he's going to lose a couple of Defilers here and a few drones. A bit of a dive there into the natural. If you get caught with your queens against this many +1 Valkyries, oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. All that energy that you've been building up and waiting to start casting onto some of these tanks is just going to be wasted. Those queens are going to pop like zits. And so Larva getting these fresh bases online. He's got some bases running. He's been given an opportunity to drone up a little bit. But in the meanwhile, Speed is starting to spread out tanks everywhere. He's taking his side of the map, and as long as he's got this high ground and a spread of tanks through this area, he can hold this entire top side of the map. This whole area is going to be his, and he could even maybe spread tanks a little bit further and take this base as well. Going to continue to run by with vultures, looking for more damage. He's going to find a lot of damage over here at bottom right. This base has not been defended properly. With only one sunken colony here, it's going to be easy pickings. 54 drones left over. So the big drone waves that have been coming still going to keep Larva at a reasonable income. A lot of links being made. You're going to see Ultralisk in the production tab here soon as those upgrades start to finish up. And more bases come online. Moving forward with those vultures. Gonna look for the kill on the Defiler. Dark Swarm comes down though. The rest of the Defilers are gonna move forward into the Dark Swarm. Try to keep themselves safe. One Defiler does lose its life to a mine. But otherwise, most of the Defilers will be surviving for the time being. Hydras. Once again, trying to defend that, but more kills here. I'm not really sure if this is fully worth it. I guess it's okay. 2k minerals in the bank. Should be fine. Just to lose, throw away a few vultures for a couple of kills. The real limiting factor for Speed at this point is the gas. And he's spending all of that as quickly as he brings it in. Let's take a look at his overall factory count. Pretty decent. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 factories with 4 add-ons. That's a lot of tanks, boys. And he's already maxed out. So he's going to start to move along this right-hand side. Tank Valkyrie might be the scariest, strongest composition in the entire game. Tank Valkyrie is an insane strong composition if you can manage it. But look at this. He loses a couple of Valkyries before this next engagement, being a little bit clumsy with those units. And so mutas might actually be a factor. The Valkyries just kind of flying in, some of them dying. Some of these have crazy kills, 8 kills on that one. But the mutas come through and clear out all of these vessels. Uh-oh. Speed is kind of falling apart right now. He should have definitely been able to keep those Valkyries alive and just keep them active dealing with Mutalisk threats, but it's gonna be up to Goliaths now to keep those from killing absolutely everything. And the tanks are now pushing forward, again maxed out, but Larva is reaching that near max as well. Lurkers under Dark Swarm, you can't do too much about that. Great Plague, insanely good Plague, and he's gonna get this vessel. He gets both of the vessels too, slowing things down with the Plagues and Dark Swarms, Defilers, and Lurkers. A lot of Ultras are coming out, and they're fully upgraded now as well. The fully upgraded Ultras nearing max out. They're going to be pushing back these Marines. With only 1-1, they stand absolutely no chance. That is so much Zerg, man. And I think he might actually be able to break through all these tanks. Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure of it. With so many of the tanks in the red, this should be an easy fight. Diving in, Dark Swarm on top of everything as well. No targeting on the Defiler. So the Dark Swarm lands on the tanks. He's going to clear so many tanks. Larva shoving forward, and he's going to try and run by up into the top right. Let's see if he can stop this base. Reinforcements hurried over towards this area to try and block this, but what is this? 8 Ultras get by? 7 Ultras? Make their way past. At the same time, another counterattack over here to the top left. Gonna go ahead and try to hit that base at the same time. He's really making the Speed's life difficult with all of this chaos. Spending a lot of his Ultras, though, behind this. He really needs to get more bases online and really defend them well. And in fact, he will get those bases going. And he's killing a lot of these SCVs. Oh, these Lings do so much damage. It's so hard to fight them with SCVs at this point. It's definitely a losing battle. Lings and Ultras coming up now. Can he get on top of these tanks? I think the Ultra will just get cleared. The SCV count has been heavily reduced. A lot of kills over here. A lot over at this base, and quite a few at this one as well. Down to just 50. Where Larva is cranking away on 68 drones and making so many units. It's a dangerous moment for Speed, but it seems like he's holding on for the time being. He needs to reset mines, re-rally up tanks, and close up the holes in his defenses, like this one right here. The Ling's just going to slip by. Can't be allowing this to happen. He's got to close up those holes. Otherwise, Larva's going to keep sneaking through and dealing more damage. And pulling apart these armies. He's going to make the armies move in an awkward direction, and then he's going to bring everything together to bust one of these bases wide open. Speed has to get everything to the front line. I just saw that drop was finished as well. So drop being finished. And have to be on the lookout for a drop upgrade. Getting utilized on the side of Larva. Where is he going to send drops through to try and deal some damage? He's got 1 armor on these Overlords. It looks like all of the Valkyries have been cleared. Dropping on top of this would be insanely good. Insanely good value. It's like a drop of a few vultures. Gets into the space. Oh, a massive connection with that mine. Actually killing a lot of drones. Here comes that drop. Looks like he's gonna hit this small tank line, while at the same time dropping on top of the CC. It's a shame he doesn't have a queen. Otherwise, he might have had an opportunity to maybe steal that command center. This command center as well might be worth stealing. Really, anything is worth stealing. Any command center is worth stealing, but whether you can deal the damage, whether you can deal enough damage to make it in range of stealing is the real problem. Make some progress on this side. He's got this extra base up. Hasn't been able to clear this. He's actually making a lot of mutas. And so we are going to see an attempt to bust this big tank line here, I think, with that large group of mutas, most likely. In fact, heading up towards top right for the time being, sending in more lings. That overload's going to die after picking up a few lings as well. He's starting to maneuver tanks into the main. This is kind of an interesting play, but he needs to bring some Goliaths down here as well. D-Matrix on that one tank is going to frustrate things a little bit. Doesn't have anything in these overlords. And Goliaths will, in fact, be elevated up into this main, or down into this main, I suppose. Darkstorm Lurker, always a good combo. Another Darkstorm goes down at that front. Moving through the middle of the map, Larva's going to try and take a fight with these tanks. They're kind of cut off from the rest of the forces, so about 6 tanks ended up going down in the middle of the map here. Now, where can he go from this position? There's a lot of mines around. And tanks spread out absolutely everywhere. I don't think he's going to make much progress with these ultras. But he might be able to trade out a few tanks. Oh, it's pretty rough. There we go. He gets a few tanks there at the end. And he's managed to keep this base alive, most importantly. In the meantime, this game is getting ridiculous, guys. Every base aside from this one has been taken on this map now. And these guys are heading towards a mine out situation. We rarely ever get a mine out, so I doubt it'll happen here, but the possibility is on the table right now. We're closer to a situation like that than we have been in a long time on this channel. Ultra's pushing in. Gonna be clearing out a few of these tanks, but the +3/+3 is insanely good against these very heavily armored melee units. And in fact, it seems like Speed might actually be able to counterattack down towards this base. Might want to hold off on that for a moment. Pushing forward. Oh, does manage to kill off a few lurkers. The supplies are very even at the moment. It's all about efficiency now that most of the bases have been taken. There's not too much concern about who's gonna get what anymore. It's more about trading out as best you can and trying to slow down your opponent from really mining. Maybe we can stop this base from mining and pull the army, or at least pull the army over here to defend so that a drop can get up into this top right. I'm a bit surprised that Larva hasn't gone for that already. It seems to me that would be a great idea to just drop some lurkers over here, or some ultralists. Maybe even just a group of lings to start to drag things over to that area. Well, ultra just kind of running in and dying is what it is. More ultras coming up though. They're just gonna run straight past over to this top right. We didn't really need to run past this. It could easily have just dropped in that area, but he is gonna run by now, forcing the lift. More damage from some of these vultures, killing off a few drones here and there. Very annoying for Larva to deal with, but he's dealing with it well and keeping his supply high. Now ahead in supply over this Terran player. And Speed is getting driven back just about everywhere. Dragging mines into tanks with Lings is an amazing trade. And he's even got some defilers here to help. If he could just bring this forward, we'd be able to maybe throw down a plague on this, maybe keep those ultras alive a little bit longer with a dark swarm, but eventually that will be cleaned up. Meanwhile, counterattacks coming this direction. Trying to deal some damage with these tanks, but Lings are getting great trades by just diving on top of this stuff. This ultra not going to do very well though. Needs to get a dark swarm down on some of these units. Clear out that tank. But he loses his dark swarm. He loses his defiler there. And just the unsieged tanks alone will be able to clear this out. On only 137 supply, he's still got an amazing number of tanks here. Speed pushing forward even further. Starting to slow down a bit. Is Larva. He's having a struggle to try and keep this base alive, and in fact gonna pull the drones from there. He loses that base. And another ultra makes its way over to the top right. That's gonna be stopped by a D-Matrix. And a smart unsiege. But more units are making their way up towards the top right. I think he'll be able to destroy this base now. So many forces have been allocated to the left-hand side for Speed that it seems inevitable to me that Larva will overtake this area and shut down these mining bases. Or at least this mining base, as this one has been completely mined out. 500 minerals around that area is what we can expect from those mineral patches. This is really the only healthy base that Speed has left. And so it's a good thing he's holding onto that for now. Everything else is about to dry up. Still with a very good supply lead. Larva gonna look for more opportunities to drop. Where is he heading now with these overlords? If he can find these tanks with his dropship or with his overlords, that's gonna be fantastic. Killing off all of these tanks would be amazing, and he can do it very efficiently with this type of army. Just come forward, drop right on top of these groups of tanks, and he, oh gosh, he's heading in the wrong direction. Where is he going? Dark Swarm Lurker to hold on for now. There's only a few vessels, so it's going to take time to break through there. He's going on the counterattack. Dropping on top of these tanks, maybe? And clearing out the tanks over here at the top left. That's the only real healthy base, like I said. If you can get on top of these and maybe to shut this down, that would be amazing. Dropping on top of all of this. He is clearing out everything while at the same time just holding strong. Wait, he's got no lurkers under here. But Speed is not pressing forward. Instead, he's trying to defend. Trying to keep himself alive right now. In a kind of a tough situation, tanks are going to siege up. So these ultras are not going to stand for very long. We'll end up getting gunned down for the most part. Lings coming in from behind are going to get cleaned up by the mines and tank fire. The tank number is huge. This is so many tanks now. It's really hard to imagine ultras doing well against them. And so I'm a little bit worried for Larva overall. But he managed to shut down this base, which is his big victory right now. This is so low. Finally, he's going to send ultras. I was waiting for this. He's finally decided to send those up there. So much chaos this game. I can't blame him. But that's just an overall good move. The tanks are stalled out trying to hit this. Dropping up into top right is just it's a great decision. He managed to kill that tank that was hitting the hatchery, and so he keeps the hatchery alive. Not able to stop this mining just yet. He's trying to get this fresh base online. More ultras, more lings popping. Gonna try to push in once again. Gets a dark swarm down, and the lings will probably be able to force enough splash damage onto these tanks to get rid of them. Really does need to kill that. Oh, he will get it. That's huge. Absolutely huge. He really needs to shut down these tanks, though. The tanks. I need a couple more shots. Can he actually get it? Oh, he saves it. He saves that base. That's so big. And there's no more dropship, so he can't continue to assault that position. Ultras get in to the main base. Dude, this hatchery, 190 HP. If you shut that down, this game is completely changed. However, Lings make their way over to this top left-hand corner. The tanks are actually coming back to try and save against this counterattack, and so this base is going to go down super fast. And yeah, he's going to pull everything back. He's gone fully on the defensive. He's grabbed another dropship, so he'll probably come back and just try to snipe this, I imagine. SCV's coming out. Trying to take this base. We're so close, guys. 124 to 155. It's definitely a Zerg advantage, but this game is not over yet. Cannot deny the power of 3-3 mech. I don't really like this push right here. This is way too small to do anything. I would really like to see these Goliaths with the rest of the army, the bulk of the army. Great plague there. In fact, a lot of these mines are probably going to connect and maybe kill the rest of the Goliaths. And so with that last Goliath going down, there's hardly any anti-air. One round of mutas might clear it. One round of mutas might clear everything. Drop back here. Gonna kill a lot of drones and maybe even the hatchery. Counterattack. Shutting down some of this mining. Tanks unsieged are having a hard time dealing with Lings. And Ultras, I mean, they do pretty good against Ultras, but the attack speed is low. So if there's lots of Lings, they're still gonna get a lot of damage done. Tanks sieging up now in range nearly of this base in the center right. This base is so critical, but this one is gonna keep him alive in this game. LARVA delaying this base going down for so long has really been the clincher. I think with this surround, he might have just done it. Ultra dropping, or LARVA dropping Ultras on top of these tanks. Ultra dropping LARVA on top of these tanks and clearing out everything. Only a few tanks remain. He just needs a little bit more. Just a couple more rounds of units to the front. And he should be able to break this. Long distance mining is now occurring. He's gonna land that command center and get to mining here in a moment. These drones are gonna be pulled up into this main. Counterattack, wait, what? Counterattack? Just gonna go for the throat? I don't really like this from LARVA. This is reminiscent of the last game. He's really gonna go for it here. All he needs to do is save this base, kill this army. That is really it. He's gonna lose a lot of stuff to just vultures back at home, I guess. Like, look, how do you get down here? How do you get down into this base? Can he even get down into this base with the Ultras? Those melee units are really showing their limitations. So many drones are going down up here. It's crazy to me. One Darkstorm gonna help out a lot, but it's not gonna be enough to save for sure this base. This base is gone. Meanwhile, the main is getting cleared out as well. A lot of these factories are gonna go down, but he's still got this mining over here. I don't know if everything in the main dies. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be GG. If he loses all the factories, there's really no way to come back. Gotta kill that dropship. Dropship's so annoying. It's done so much work. Clearing out the main. There's only a few vultures left, trying to drag these Ultras into mines and slowly wither this one down. It's got 8 kills on it. And these vultures just cannot fight that Ultra straight up. They want to bait into mines, not able to do it. That Ultra just clears the mines. Lings are getting kited, and tanks are making their way back home now. They will be able to come back here and clear this. But we're at 65. 65, guys. It's so low. It's so close. Oh, no. Vultures die here in center left for free. against a bunch of lings. They definitely could have kited that one out. What does Larva have left? 37 workers to 17. I think he's got this, guys. I think he's got this. I think he's going to be able to even out this series, but it's so close. It is frighteningly close at the moment. One more ultra being made. That's the only thing in production. One more vessel. And 4 vultures coming in to the production tab. Some drones being killed. Dark Swarm's gonna save them for now. Ooh, he targets down that mine. That would have been scary. Had the mine connected, it could have killed so much. Tanks covering top right and the natural. And the CC has now landed. More vultures coming out to look for harassment opportunities. Connecting mines on these ultras is amazing value, especially in a moment like this. Drop heading up towards top right. Time to shut down the very last mining base of this Terran. I heard some mutas out here somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Ling's getting into this main base and dealing some more damage, clearing out a few more units. This drop is actually going to arrive with not much. Oh my god, the CC died. Oh boy, the CC died. I think that might be it, guys. The CC getting cleared up here in the top left. That might be the end. The tanks die in top right. There's still quite a few tanks. 47 supply to 100. Double the supply for Zerg. And the tanks are being dove upon, but the position is pretty good. Can he siege up some of these tanks on high ground and gets the rest into this position? Maybe he can snipe the hatchery from the low ground. It's possible, but meanwhile back at home, taking a lot of damage. Drops are coming in from behind. There's nothing anti-air related to try and stop this. I can't believe he hasn't built mutas in a time like this. There's one Goliath. There is one Goliath, boys. Gonna drop the ultras on top. Ultras and lings clearing out this final army. The tanks are going down. Speed has put up an amazing fight this game, but Larva is just at the cusp of winning this one. 4 tanks on low ground. They are going to be in range of this hatchery, loading up once again some ultras to inevitably drop on top of this. Ling being dropped here just to try and bait some spider mines into position. He kills the hatchery. Oh my goodness, the hatchery's dead. Two Mutalisks are being made. Oh my gosh. It's really come down to this. 2 mutas. There's no other mining. There's 300 minerals in the bank for Larva. He's keeping that in his pocket in reserve. 1 SCV. There's 1 SCV. Oh my goodness. He's long distance mining this. I understand. That's a good choice. Good choice. Just long distance mine that. Time to pull every drone probably from these depleted geysers. The mutas come up. You can't even make a Goliath, and GG is called. Those 2 mutas. They take the fight home. Unbelievable. What a game here, guys. Dude, I can hardly believe it. Game 2 turned out even better than game number 1. I don't know how it gets any crazier from here, but we've still got more games to go, guys. This is incredible. I am loving the return of Larva, and this series versus Speed is just what I needed. This is making my day, guys. This is making my month. And so let's jump into game number 3. Unbelievable series of games so far between Speed and Zealot. Guys, I've almost finished my bottle of soju here. This has been so intense. But it just keeps going on. It just keeps getting better and better. Raise a glass, boys, to the return of Larva. And take a sip as well. Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 now on Dominator. We've got a wall and a 12 hatch again. The similar builds to the last couple of games, but different spawning locations. Remember I was talking last time about this area for the Terran? That this is a big threat, a high ground. We've got Larva on the top side. Means he'll have the option to threaten with mutas above this high ground and then possibly run by either this direction or through here into the back of the main and then threaten either mineral line from a difficult angle. Speed, you'll have to build turrets all the way around this base rather than in just one straight line like you would usually as a Terran player to defend the mineral line. Gonna have to spread your turrets out, which makes them more vulnerable. And so there's a good chance we might see Speed opt for a Valkyrie build. A quick Valkyrie build might be the ticket. Might be just the thing he needs to shut down early Mutalisk aggression and get himself into a mid to late game. This a factory? No. Engineering bay on the way already. He's going to be going for a +1 build. Not what I was expecting. And different from his previous 2 games, he was really favoring the 3 racks with stim and range early. But he's going to switch things up now to a more standard style, I would say. The early +1 build, it's become such a staple for Terran players, but I hardly ever see Speed do it. I really don't see him do it very often. By the way, he's on a different account. I don't really remember if he was on this last game, but he's definitely switched things up now. Seems like Larva on the same account, though. I've got these all together in a pack, courtesy of RJBTV. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Glad you're out there sorting through replays. I was gonna say siphoning, but that's not exactly the word I was looking for. And so, with the 2.5 hatch, Larva gonna get into his Mutalisk play. How will the early +1 and armor? Wait. I think I saw this, but I kind of glazed over it because you're always going for attack as a Terran player. Why armor so early? That is a really surprising decision. And this move out makes no sense at all. Where are we going with these Marines? Surely he's going to turn these around and go back home. Yeah, okay, 1 sunken colony there in the natural. That's enough. He even cancels it. He sees the Marines have headed back home. This is just not what you do with the early +1 build. I'm gonna go into 4 racks afterwards. The 4 racks follow-up is pretty standard for the early +1 build. But 7 mutas are on the way. Hasn't been slowed down at all. Larva hasn't. And he has, you know, full saturation. He's ready to take a 3rd here shortly. He's going to hit a big round of drones as he utilizes all of that gas he's built up. Spend the gas and then build the drones. 7 mutas coming this direction. Is he ready for this attack? He doesn't have range as the 7 mutas make their way in right at the 6-minute mark. Ready to start putting on some aggression, and looks like he'll fly directly into this pocket. Exactly what I was talking about. It's so difficult to defend. That's already about 4 or 5 SCVs that have fallen, and you can see the turrets are just very spread out. This is the way it goes on Dominator, and I don't think that Speed has really adapted well to this. He's lost about 7 SCVs in total. And in fact, his SCV number is behind the drone count now. So this is a great success for Larva. Loses another Mutalisk there for free, unfortunately for him. Speed gonna start to push out now. The Mutalisk number is growing. And the third base is on the way. A bunch of sunken colonies being made. He might just go with mutas and try to break the natural. Or maybe break the main. While the sunkens hold back at home. He's gonna start a bunch of sunkens. And yeah, he's gonna just go for kills. A scan went down though, and you know, Speed sees that. He sees that there's a bunch of sunken colonies being made, and so he sends his Marines back home. Not gonna take the risk that he loses that fight with the sunkens and loses his economy in the meantime back at home. So a few more SCVs may get taken out. He missed 2 shots there. That's a bit unfortunate. Actually, you know what? With the +1 armor, do Mutalisks one-shot anymore? With 7 of them? I actually need to calculate that. Maybe I'll put a banner on screen after I figure that out. Because I'm not going to do a bunch of math here in the middle of this cast. No. We're not doing that. Especially after a bottle of soju. I'm gonna make a fool out of myself. So more sunkens being made. I don't know why he's even contesting this Marine group if he's gonna make this many sunken colonies. Has the Hydra Den, but doesn't have Lurker upgrade on the way. He's gonna go for the main. Maybe try to take over the barracks? Going after these doesn't really make sense. Kill this and go after the barracks. I think that would be the best choice. He's gonna take over the main base. The main mineral line anyway. Start to kill off all of the SCVs here. I don't think you're breaking that. I'm sorry to say, Speed, I don't think you're breaking that. Larva might just have the antidote to Speed's game plan. And you're just not getting through that number of sunken colonies. It ain't happening. Gonna kill this one more turret. Losing quite a few mutas though, and gets driven back. 6 mutas remain. He isn't able to break all of the missile turrets. More mutas making their way forward. Get that third extractor going. Coming back into the main now. I'm gonna try to kill off a few more SCVs. There's only 20 SCVs left. I think that Larva's pretty well got this, guys. 16 SCVs? 15 SCVs to 30 drones? Oh my goodness, Larva. They call Speed sexy, but Larva is one sexy Zerg player. My goodness. Speed taps out and Larva. Look at that wall, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sunken colonies. That is disgusting. So many sunkens to just defend him back at home while he dives in with the mutas. Speed, he saw it, he realized what was happening, but he still went across the map with his Marines. Kind of a big mistake. He should have at least come and killed the third. I don't think he would have won from a situation like that, but you know, without a hive coming, if you manage to force the Zerg back onto 2 bases, like there's a moment where you might be able to kill if you have the hive really quick. You lose the third, the Marines are over here, and then you send lurkers across and get a contain and bring a defiler down and try to kill. That is a possibility, but if he's just sitting there on 2 bases, even if you harass and kill a ton of SCVs, if you lose the third base, it's still tough as a Zerg player to finish off the Terran, and eventually he will get those SCV numbers back up. And so I think Speed just making some mistakes. That's a great game though for Larva. Getting a sick win over this insanely talented Terran player. I'm blown away. I'm not expecting this from someone who should have a lot of rust. Like Larva, who's been away for a while, but he's just killing it, guys. Let's jump into our next game. On to game number 4. Come on, guys, hit that like button. Show us some love. Doesn't cost you anything, and if you're willing to support, take a look at the Patreon link down below. Come join the crew. I'm going to keep bringing you amazing games like this as they happen. This was played just this week. LARVA versus Speed. We're going to be watching out for more games of LARVA and whoever he wants to play against. Whoever he ends up matching on the ladder is going to be interesting as he makes his return. Definitely, before anybody types in the comments down below, I think I've already said this, but this is not him returning to SSL by any means. He still has a wrist injury as far as I know. I say that he's playing at 400 APM, but I do believe he is still recovering and may just be throwing in a few games here and there. Not ready to practice up to his former level just yet, and so I think unlikely we'll see him in this season of SSL, but maybe next season. We'll hold on to hope there. LARVA going for his 12 hatch once again. Wall and the single racks expansion from Speed for the fourth time. Both players kind of meeting with these similar builds. A little annoying, this one drone being attacked. You want to keep the drone on the outside of the mineral patch. The reason he's doing that is because of vertical mining. If you let the drone go over here, it makes like a weird corner and it doesn't mine as quickly. So abusing that fact a little bit, knowing that LARVA's going to be optimizing those drones, just poking at that one drone there to make it a little harder. Naked Marine move out. Hasn't been successful so far this series, but I think we've got 4 Marines making their way forward, and there's only about 4 Lings in this. 4 Lings is not good enough. Okay, actually 6 Lings total, but 2 Lings are chasing the SCV. This might be an opportunity. Let's see if you can spread this well enough. Pulling the drones back as far as possible. The Lings are going to come forward with the drones now. Might want to pull away here as he gets back to these reinforcements. Nope, just going to take this fight. Ooh, I don't like this for LARVA. He's going to lose all of those very important Lings, but the follow-up, an extra 4 Lings pops out, and in fact, he's going to go up to 6 with the Speed finishing. He does get rid of everything, and he will be able to snipe down this SCV as well. That SCV is cooked. He's done. Not going to be getting out of here alive, but he's got the information that he was looking for. And so I think LARVA's held this off pretty well. He's done a good job. He didn't lose any drones. He didn't overproduce Lings too heavily. And Speed has lost quite a few Marines. So I'm actually liking the position of LARVA at this point. Doesn't have a 2.5 hatch build going this time. Instead, optimizing for the 2 hatch Muta. Has a 3rd hatch over in the top right hand corner, but that's a base that he's taking. And he's actually taking on high ground, which is interesting. A lot of players these days take naturals as their 3rd. It's become pretty meta to do so. Another 5 Marines coming in. That's crazy to me that he went for another 5 Marines. He's gonna pull drones to help out with this fight. He doesn't, and so the Marines are gonna get in and actually might kill a lot. Gonna kill a bunch of drones here. He's gonna target down at least 1 or 2. 2 so far, 3, 4. Oh man, this is a lot of damage. That is not good. Yeah, that's a little bit too much damage actually. And I mean, all the Marines are gone, and the mutalist timing is still there. So he's going to be able to come across the map with the mutas at the correct timing. And maybe do a lot of damage. There's almost no Marines back at home. Just 5. 4 medics, funnily, but 5 Marines. turret about to finish, but it's not quite there yet. Can he get in and stop the turret? Oh, that's a painful first engagement. No damage, and he almost lost a Mutalisk. It's better than losing a Mutalisk, but it's still pretty darn bad. Well, this Mutalisk is very low. The 4 Marines able to take out that, or 4 Mutas able to take out that 1 Marine. It's usually 5 that one-shots a Marine, but if you stim, you lose some health. And so the 4 can still one-shot. Kind of a funny interaction, but it is what it is. Redroning pretty heavily, but really missing his opportunity to harass at all. Larva is now going to get his 3rd gas online. And what is his follow-up? Are we going to see a big transition? Is he going to go all in with Muta? Knowing that his opponent has less Marines than he should because he lost so many. I think he lost like 5 initially and then another 5 after. So he's thrown away quite a lot of Marines. There's a potential possibility where there's a world where you just wipe out, where Larva just wipes out this Marine group and then goes across and just starts killing turrets and taking over the barracks area potentially. That is a distinct possibility. A lot of Mutalisks being made. Gonna go up to beyond 12. But he's saving up quite a bit of money. Okay, he's kind of missed this. Wait, the Bioforces are back here, Larva. Bioforces are near the natural. He's gonna go after the Overlord. Overlord goes down. Big supply block. Stand is on the way, so he is gonna try to transition out of this. Which is interesting. Some Marines heading up to top right. This is a dangerous situation, my friends. A very dangerous situation indeed. He needs stuff over here at the top right. Should make a round of lings or something? What is he doing with those larvae? I'm surprised he hasn't produced anything. Make a bunch of lings. Gotta hold on to this position. But end up losing a lot of drones here. Lings are gonna pop out soon. It's not gonna call any finishes. More Mutas making their way up to the top right. Marine's in a threatening position. If he goes for the natural, it's going to be hard for Larva to hold on. But he's got the lings now. He should be able to deal with this counterattack. This little excursionary force in the top right. And if he plays his cards right, he could easily hold this attack towards his natural. It's not going to get too much further. Lings are coming out. If he hits this from both sides at the same time, with all the lings and the Mutas together, he should be able to nail this. He loses like 5 lings there without dealing any damage. That is not the way you want to do it. And now we're going to see these Bioforces combine. And with the Bioforces combining like this, Larva misses opportunity to dive on that Bio Ball. Hasn't started his Lurker upgrade yet. He does get his Queen's Nest underway. He's making some Hydra. Did he actually finish Lurker and I didn't see it? I don't think so. I think he was non-stop making Mutas. And so when will he realize that he needs the Lurker? Because 5 Mutas are going to do nothing for him if he doesn't have the Lurker upgrade going. He's just going to end up with a bunch of kind of deadweight, paperweight type units. Okay, no, he did finish Lurker upgrade. Okay, excuse me, guys. I was paying attention to the action. Wasn't paying attention to that production tab. And now that there are Lurkers on the way and the Bioforces are still here near home, he's just going to immediately dive into the main base. Oh my god, he's going to get the first Science Vessel as well. Oh, that's so big. The second Science Vessel pops out. Dude, these snipes are insane. Larva getting so much value. Lurker up on the high ground. Pretty difficult to hold this ramp with only 1 Lurker. So he's going to bring the Mutalisk back home. Has 3 Lurkers in the natural. A 4th about to pop out. Starting to hit these Marines as they come up the ramp. Trying to spread and just attack up this ramp is pretty difficult. With 6 Mutalisks here, they're mostly going to target the Mutalisks. The Lurker was not punished. The Lurker was not targeted. I don't know if that's exactly perfectly placed to block this. I don't think it is. Yeah, there we go. It does slip by. I think you need it to be like right on that corner. This corner right here, but I'm not 100%. I think there is actually better. He makes 2 Lurkers. That also doesn't block. Making some mistakes here. Larva. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. These 4 Lurkers coming up from behind, though, are insane. These 4 Lurkers in the back line are so good. He kills this entire expeditionary force. These Lurkers have an insane number of kills. 5, 6, 1, and 2. Absolutely crushed. Armor is on the way. Consume is on the way. Nightingale is coming up. The vessel number 3 and 4 are finally out, and the 3rd base is on the way. This game is not over, but Larva is just crushing it, guys. I've never been happier to see Speed at a deficit. I can say that. Larva is just doing so well, and I couldn't be happier. So glad to see this guy is still playing at such a high level. 6 mutas. Oh, the Scourge get that vessel that comes forward. That's the first 3 vessels got killed. The first 3 vessels that were sent across, or the first 3 vessels that were made, have already been killed. Larva just annihilating. Double dropships coming, though. We all know how Speed can be with drops. He's going to start to add some chaos. He's going to add a little spice to this game. And in fact, he's going to supply block Larva heavily by killing off these 2 overlords. Still lurking around with Scourge at the periphery is Larva. Speed avoiding those expertly for now. Has a good number of barracks. He's really amping up his overall economy. Has 62 workers, which is nothing to scoff at. That is a lot of workers. No, oh no. No Scourge in this base. Okay, here comes the Scourge with the mutas. He's gonna sack all of his, oh my gosh. He's gonna lose a lot of vessels to get these irradiates off. And my god, he's gonna kill every vessel. What? He didn't pull it back to the Marines. He just sent it back across the map. That is such a big mistake. That is such a big error. Speed has lost so many vessels. It's insane. A lot of Marines being brought forward in these drops. That's 4 dropships that are about to be sent in. But there's 4 Scourge, a lot of mutas, Lings, and some Lurkers as well. He scans, he sees what's coming. Immediately gonna lose 2 of these dropships, and the remaining 2 drops are not gonna do that well. Lings are being brought up, Lurkers are being brought up, complete surround. He tries to jump back into the drop. He's gonna go behind the mineral patches, but this is a just fantastic cleanup by Larva. Oh my goodness. He crushed this so hard. I've never seen someone crush a Speed drop harder than this. Now I'm glazing Larva pretty thoroughly here, but he absolutely deserves it. He is going to lose some drones over at this base, but for the most part, he pulled his drones away, and he still has 40 workers on 3 bases. That's a lot. 40 workers, pretty good. He does lose his natural gas. That's kind of important. Gonna be on 2 gases for a little bit here. It's about time to start getting a 4th gas going. So the fact that he doesn't even have a 3rd gas is pretty rough. But he annihilates that last dropship. And with the final dropship going down, it's just about time for Larva to be unleashed on the map. He's working towards +2. Oh god, is there burrow? Uh-oh. Go into the Nidus Canal. Go into the Nidus. Okay, he's not gonna go into the Nidus, but he will bring some Scourge forward. Lost about 4 or 5 drones there. Burrow upgrade on the way now. I like to see he's at least correcting his mistake. And not just going, wow, I made a mistake this game. Let's just give up on Burrow now. Because, of course, my opponent won't do that again. Which they always end up doing. Ultra going to be clearing out all of this, but it doesn't have all of its upgrades yet. Still needs to wait for speed, and +2 is not quite complete. +2 is done, and +3 is on the way. Dropship moving forward. Scourge are available, though. Scourge going to see this. And is ready to hit this drop and take it down. Surprised always how many dropship Speed makes. Despite watching Speed almost every day. I'm still surprised at how committed he is to these drops. And making them work. Battle cruisers coming up towards top right. It's going to be a hard hold now for our Zerg player. Larva is going to have a difficult time holding on to all this stuff. Hit this dropship. That'll go down. Trying to keep these bases alive while the battle cruisers harass. And the army starts to build up in front. I mean, he still hasn't moved out with his Ultralisk yet. Really hoping to get that down, get that going here soon. Some Scourge will connect. Some spores are going to be made. But a Defiler goes down. That's super annoying. And more army going to push in. And Defiler walks out and just dies. I think he was looking for maybe a big plague on a bunch of Marines there, but he's not going to get it. Ah, it's so frustrating. Can I actually get this? Oh, still not able to kill that battlecruiser, and it's still dealing damage. 12 kills on that bad boy. And he's going to go over this high ground and possibly just keep killing some overlords. A great plague there. Still, Larva having a hard time. Despite everything, man, he's done so well this game. He's held on like an absolute champ. He's killed so many vessels. He's done so well. He's still, at the end of the day, in a bad position. He does have a lot of ultras. I'll give him that. A lot of ultras. But he's about to eat some dirty irradiates here. A lot of irradiate gonna deal a lot of damage to his ultras. That's very frustrating. Actually needs to pull that ultra out because it's gonna deal ultras damage to all these ultras, so getting that out of the pack is really important. Finally kills off that battlecruiser. Such an annoying battlecruiser there. And he's up to now 4 starports. Gonna be making BCs and science vessels. I mean, these ultras are gonna be so badly damaged by the time he's finally able to push out. I'm a little bit scared for Larva. Whether he's gonna be able to hang on in this game. Kill a couple more vessels. That's good stuff. The base in bottom left is completely locked down, though. More vessels gonna fall. Most likely. Okay, 1 goes down. The ultra number. Is that all the ultras he has? That is everything he's managed to make this game. 6 ultras. Not quite enough. Where are the defilers for this defense? Lurkers are going to be doing their job. Doing quite a bit of splash damage, but the ultras, I mean, they come out and just get a molly-whopped here. 1 lurker comes forward. Finally, that's going to burrow under Dark Swarm. Might be able to get a plague down. He's going to try and consume something more. Going with Scourge to try and get a connection, but again, just losing a bunch of these all-important ultras that he's been desperately building up this entire time. Losing a few of those last ultras. And barely pushing out with a few links. I think we're going to see Mass Firebat come online here soon. And in fact, Battlecruiser is making its way forward. Again, 4 battle cruisers on the way. Some fire bats being mixed in, but I'm expecting even more. I'm expecting him to start making just mass fire bat, mass battle cruiser, because you just can't hold on against something like that. It does help, it does pay to, you know, have a few Marines in there to try and help fight off the Scourge and that type of thing, but the fire bats clear out everything so quick. Darkstorm just doesn't really matter anymore when you've got this much fire, when you've got just masses and masses of fire bats, and then the battle cruisers are going to be sucking up tons of gas because of Scourge. A few Lings managed to make their way down to the 6 o'clock, but they're just going to get wrecked. He still doesn't have Adrenal. Oh my goodness, he doesn't have Adrenal. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a little bit cooked. I think we might be out of options. The Zerg might be out of options in this game. The Adrenal Gland is just so late. The 4th upgrade is so, or the 3rd Carapace is so late. Nice to have all of these spore colonies to defend against the battle cruisers that are coming up, but there's a ton of irradiates going down. The pressure is immense. Finally, Ultras are going to come out. They're just about done their upgrades, and he's really going to start power spiking now. But the power spike is just so late. The power spike coming online at the 11th hour when there's already bunkers and Marines everywhere. When the opponent is completely maxed out and battle cruisers are hitting everything at the same time. Scourge are going to come forward and kill off this one battle cruiser, but this spore is not going to last long. Ultra is killing off some of these bunkers, but again, not going to break this base, which is what he really needs to do in a moment like this. He needs to break this base and start to deal damage, start to move out on the map, get the Terran player on the defensive so he can start to take some of these bases. He just hasn't been able to do that thus far, getting grooved spines because he's realizing what a problem all of these battle cruisers are becoming. Must manage to clear out that BC. Might even be able to clear out this one as well. No, not going to be the case. Not bringing all the Scourge together at the same time, unfortunately. And so more hatcheries being added on. He's going to go into Hydraless Defiler, I think. His gas is going to start running out. Yeah, he's out of gas there and there. His gas is getting low on the 3rd gas as well. It's time to go super efficiency and just try to get this next base out. He needs this base to come up. There's no hope if that base doesn't come online here soon. Defiler comes out. It's got the Darkstorm. It's got the Plague. If he gets a Plague on these battle cruisers, it's going to help out a lot. But he's losing Overlords in the meanwhile. Zergling Ultra is not going to do the trick against this mass of Marines. Plus the D-Matrix and Irradiates are going to deal a lot of damage. Well, the Irradiates deal a lot of damage. The D-Matrix prevents the damage. And battle cruisers, dude, so many battle cruisers. 4 hanging out in between the 2 different naturals. He hasn't upgraded. Oh, no, he did. He did get it. Yamato. So Yamato gonna start going down on some of these units that are usually defended by Darkswarm and that he can't kill, like Defilers. Gonna start Yamatoing those down so that he can break through some of these positions. Got 4 battle cruisers up here, another 2 back at home, 3 back at home, in fact. And he's just defended so well everywhere. These small counterattacks are not going to make any progress. Hydra's coming forward. I want to say that he's still got a chance here, but it's looking so desperate. I'm going to go ahead and shoot down his own Defiler to try and get rid of that unit. Another Darkstorm should come down on this Mineral Line. He does save that Mineral Line for the time being, but He is drying out so quickly and still remaining completely maxed out. Even with maximum efficiency, the best efficiency you've ever seen in the world from a Zerg player, it's going to be hard to win a game like this. Firebat's finally coming forward. The mass Firebat play, definitely the right call. Not quite enough Firebats to push through all of these Lings, but he's got the right idea. The Battlecruiser is pushing in as well. Gonna go ahead and take out the Spore Colony. There's only one Hydra underneath here, so he can just kind of ignore it. Go after maybe the Nidus Canal. He can go after the hatchery if he wants. Right now he's taking down drones, but Speed has complete control, and Larva is just on the edge of defeat. See the Defiler pop back through and maybe get a Dark Swarm or a Plague down on all these Marines, most likely. That would be useful, but it's not going to be the thing that saves him in this game. In fact, I don't think there's anything that can save him at a point like this. +3 air attack is on the way, guys. +3 battlecruiser attack. These BCs are going to be crushing, absolutely crushing everything on the ground and in the air. Yamatos are coming out and just getting so much value. I'm gonna start Yamatoing the hatchery. Why not? GG as the Yamatos come out. The power of the BC just cannot be contended with. And the forces out on the map for Speed, he just can't handle it. He can't handle it. He tries to get some more counterattacks. I kind of missed this counterattack coming down here, but it doesn't matter. Small groups of Ultra Ling are just not going to do anything anymore. With what Speed has put together, I gotta say, very good game here from Speed. The way that he controlled the pace and how he was able to macro up into absolute god mode in this late game while applying massive pressure. Go back and watch that game and tell me when Speed got ahead, because it looked like he was just throwing stuff at the wall and splattering his units. He was just throwing dropships in here and there. Everything was dying. Nothing was working. Everything was getting held. Larva was destroying, but behind it, Speed's macro was insane. He just got all the bases up. He made immense numbers of units, and he just gets the battlecruiser number that cannot be contended with. Crazy skill coming out of Speed in this final game. This is indeed the last game, guys. But of course, there will be more in the future if you subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys checking out this video and hitting that like button, commenting, and just sharing your thoughts on these games. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.